One side still looking to play their first match and possibly secure their first victory. On the other side, we have a team who is coming off a 5-0 win, potentially looking to secure their spot in the bracket stage. But let's see how the match concludes and let's see how it goes. Good morning, good evening, and good afternoon, anyone. Welcome back to 4WC 2026 with yet another group stage match. My name is Mavosik, and joining me on the casting couch today is gonna be Bernie. Hello there.
Hello, Mavosik. Yeah, today we have a very interesting match here between Japan and New Zealand. New Zealand, who is coming off a victory from last weekend against India, where they won 5-0, and Japan here still to play their first match here at the 4-digit World Cup. And yeah, everyone here is already doing their picks and bans, and New Zealand going for that no mod 5 ban, which is unsurprising. They did also ban that out last week, so they're very much not comfortable with this map. And also last week they also banned down the hidden 2, so maybe expecting to see that as well. And Japan here banning out no mod 1 and no mod 3. Interesting bans here from Team Japan. Let's see what the final ban here from New Zealand is going to be, but maybe it is going to be that hidden 2 as well.
I mean, looking at the no mod 5 ban, hidden 2 would be expected as the second ban for New Zealand here. No mod 3, no mod 1 from Japan does make sense, as New Zealand did perform incredibly well on that qualifiers. No mod 1, no mod 3, they also did pretty nicely. Unfortunately, we see the custom ban, which is always a bit sad, but you know, what can we do? And there comes the hidden 2 ban from Team New Zealand as expected, heading into the first Japan pick, and they will go instantly into double time 1 plus Danshi by Reol. A pretty known map to, let's say, the older players. It is one of the older maps in this map pool, being coming from 2015. And actually one of the 4 older maps in this map pool. Everything else is 2023 plus, but about that later. As in qualifiers, by stats, this should be a Japan map. And overall, the whole double time, as they did do pretty well on that in qualifiers, which pulled them up by quite a bit, putting them into seed 32. But overall, the average score difference for these 2 maps is around 300k points, so I believe we are still looking for a pretty close match. This map does not give you anything other than your standard generic DT1 map. You have some aim, you have some bursts, but those bursts are pretty fast, tuning in with the 270 BPM, which could be an issue for some players.
Yeah, you also have to note that this map, at least compared to the map in to the DT1 in qualifiers, this one is a little bit easier on the aim, but it's a bit more focused on mechanics as well. It's more focused on that tapping as well, that 270 BPM tapping, some bursts. But it's still going to be a good test to these players of their mechanics, but also their DT aim, also at AR 10.3. And yeah, this is also a banger song. Also, just to throw that one out there. It's going to be a good one to see, and hopefully we're going to get started in just a few moments. But speaking of players, Japan here has some familiar faces from the past. You have Rollpan, for example, former OWC player from 2020 to 2023, if I'm not mistaken. Chopin Pan as well, being one of their star players as well. But besides that, they do have some players that have some very good in terms of skill sets. They're very diverse, all these players, so it is going to be interesting to see. New Zealand as well, they have some very clear weaknesses, but hopefully it is going to be a good one. And we're going to get started with our DT1. And on the side of Japan, we have Mitage, Disappear, Divava, and Chopin Pan. On the side of New Zealand, we have Mitia, Jadding, Goofster, and it's going up, aka Amaze.
I believe that's Amaze, yeah.
That is indeed Amaze.
Of the DT1, we see 2 misses, 3 misses very early into the map from Jadding, Goofster, traded by Divava, which gives a bit of lead on the Japan side, but it's pretty early into the map to decide anything just yet. Goofster finding yet another miss, which is not gonna help New Zealand a lot. And looking at accuracy, the lead is also on Japan's side, so as of now they are fully in control. It's going up, does find a miss, but that gets traded by Chopin Pont, so it's 1 FC against 2. Japan's side definitely leading by that, but Devava finding a miss might help New Zealand a bit on the potential shift if one of those FCs drop.
Yeah, Japan here does have a clear lead, but there goes Disappear actually, so that's just gonna hurt them a little bit. But you saw Mitage on that FC against Mitia on the side of New Zealand, so it's Mitage versus Meteor right now, but also the supporting combos are very important as we enter the second Ki. Gooster actually does find a break, but Mitage as well does find a break, and this could be a huge chance for New Zealand because Mitia is still holding on to the FC, but there's a good recovery combo happening from Chopin. Divava and Disappear also on the recovery, but Mitia is still on that FC, but the backup combo really isn't there from any of the players, and Amaze does find the break, and another one as well. So it's Jetty and Gooster trying their best here to have some sort of recovery, but Amaze still finding breaks, and it's not really looking good for New Zealand.
Yeah, with those breaks coming from Amaze, the support combos, the recovery combos from Japan are actually matching the full combo on New Zealand side, and Nitya with an unfortunate slider break, I believe, drops the last full FC, the potential last hope for New Zealand, even though we see three-way trade from Team Japan. Chopin still on that 800 combo, matching jetting pretty well 200k in favor of Japan, and there's just not enough map for the shift to happen anymore, as Japan will be picking up their first point on their first pick, and it was a pretty comfortable one after all. 370k, not a bad lead there, and some pretty nice scores. Gooster and Jading with S ranks, unfortunate SBs here and there, and a lot of one misses. As you said, this map might be one of those a bit more comfortable ones, maybe a bit on the tapping side, but if you are comfortable on 270 BPM bursts, you should be able to play this pretty well. We can see that on the board, but Japan just better on the combo and the support, especially 870k from Chopin is a really good score though, so keep an eye for that person because they are pretty good. And overall, the roster of Team Japan, even though you don't have some huge names, they are still pretty notable tournament players, and they are scary even though they are not seeded that high. Now New Zealand about to pick one map of their own, looking for a response to the point from Japan, and they will opt for a 3-mod-1. So we are heading into an interesting 3-mod-1 map. It's not your standard consistency 3-mod-1 you might expect on the slot, but to be fair, nowadays the 3-mod-1 slot alters quite a bit. This time we are heading into somewhat of a flow aimy tapping map, which is pretty draining on stamina, I would say. The streams and some really uncomfortable patterns, go and go and go. The map is not the shortest as well, with it is actually one of the shorter maps in the map with 1 minute 58 seconds, 180 BPM, but those streams, those tapping sections are just so uncomfortable that the drain time might not matter too much. What will matter though is how well players can hold combo, and if they can FC, how well can they act the map, because that's what will be decisive in this matchup, because I believe both of these teams are pretty comfortable on this BPM when it comes to tapping. We are in the 4-digit scene after all, and pretty good tournament players. The question is the mods though. What do you think, Benny?
In terms of mods, that is an interesting question. On the side of Japan, you do have some specialist hard rock players. Looking at mainly Chopin and Divava. Those players, I think they're going to be in for this one, and maybe they could go for that hard rock. But also on the hidden side, you have Siuk, who is also one of the hidden specialist players, as well as Rollpan. Rollpan, albeit Rollpan is more of a low AR hidden player, but still hidden is a good option for him. In the no mod section, pretty much anyone goes. On the side of New Zealand, however, I'm looking here at some statistics, and maybe you have the team captain Dasher. They could go for that hard rock. Gooster could go for the no mod, one of the more specialized players in terms of tapping, as well as Amaze. Hidden, you have jetting. That could also really work out for them, as well as Rumi. So any of these options are valid options here for both of these teams, but I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what these players will go for as we are entering the free mod 1 if we can look at the teams here in just a few seconds, there we go. We have Rai, Rollpan, Shopanpan, and Mitage on the side of Japan, Rumi, Jetting, Shigonpemi, and Gooster on the side of New Zealand. And I'm not sure, is Gooster not taking any mods? Okay, we have a panic. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Gooster is taking hidden. And yeah, we're going to get started here.
And we see double hit on Japan on Rollpan and Raw. As you said, Mitage with HR, Shoponpon on the no mode score here. Harumi on hidden together with Goofster, and HR on Shigonpei jetting facing the no mode score right now with a double S, and the only double S left on the board. As we see the first miss come, that's gonna come from Shigonpei, that's traded by Raw. So one HR for one hidden. The HR score might hurt a bit more, but as of now, New Zealand is on a score lead because of accuracy, which is not that huge of a difference for both of these teams. As we can see, the score difference just jumps back and forth, especially because of spin to win. 10k in favor of New Zealand. That will still shift, I believe, as we approach the second half of the map, which does get difficult compared to the first half. And we might see some misses coming in, some breaks, some SBs. We'll see how that goes. After this spinner, let's see. Break players see their scores.
When you see it,
see that is pretty tight.
Sorry.
It's okay. We see finding the first miss for Japan. That will give some lead to New Zealand. And Rollpan joins him on the hidden. That's the second break coming in from Japan. 2 FCs against 3, but not anymore, as Jetting does find a miss as well as Goofster Rumi against Mitage and Shoponpon on the recovery. It is looking pretty tight. Gooster finds the miss on the second to last FC on New Zealand. It's only Rumi with 800 combo, but the support from Japan is falling, so the score is not shifting that much, especially because Shigonpei does hold the support combo of 500. Mitrege does find the miss, and so does Roy. It's only Shoponpon on the huge combo for Japan against New Zealand's Rumi and Shigonpei, and that's gonna shift the score heavily to the side of New Zealand, successfully taking the first pick. 1-1, we are even.
Yeah, a good performance from Shopanpan and Mitage on the side of Japan. Unfortunately, the two other players couldn't really keep up with the supporting combos, especially Rai. But Rumi with a score of a lifetime here and getting the full combo here for New Zealand, and also Gooster with the S rank as well as Jetting. So good performances from all of these players here on the side of New Zealand. Well-deserved first point. A 335,000 score difference is gonna help them take the point here. And now it is gonna be Japan picking DT2 right, just instantly picking DT2. Interesting stuff, because you see, Japan, they did get top 5 on DT2 in qualifiers. So this does make a lot of sense here for their team. Albeit, but for New Zealand, I'm not too sure if they're going to be very comfortable with this one. They do have some specialized DT and tapping players, like I mentioned, Dasher and Gooster, the more tapping players, but no one really is proficient in terms of speed and stamina. So this is going to be an interesting one here to see from New Zealand, and it is going to be interesting to see what players they will take. But yeah, this map is 240 BPM. It is pretty much just raw speed, stamina, and also finger control. A bit different from our No Mod 2, which is also 240 BPM, but yeah, this one, it is more, it also has that finger control element to it compared to that No Mod 2. So it is going to be an interesting one to see from both of these teams. Albeit on paper, Japan does have the edge on this map. I still am very curious to see what New Zealand will do with this one.
Yeah, this might be a tough challenge for New Zealand to face. As you said, Japan top 5 DT2 in qualifiers against New Zealand, who scored number 40 on DT2 in qualifier, so the seeding difference is there, and on paper it should be a point to Japan, but then you look at a No Mod 2 in quals, even though that map was a bit different, and you see that New Zealand actually performed a bit better, even though this DT2 is more like the DT2 we have seen in quals, as you mentioned, raw speed, stamina with some finger control in it. So if you're not comfortable with the BPM of 240, it might get pretty difficult for you to play the map properly, to hack it properly. Maybe you can mesh it a little bit, but if New Zealand can pull off some, sorry, not New Zealand, if Japan can pull off some FCs, it's gonna be hard to mesh them with just meshing and trading combo for accuracy. And as we can see, we see Ro disappear, Shoponpon and Autoline. For Team Japan, Mitya, it's going up, Jading and Gooster for New Zealand. So we see that Mitya, Jading and Gooster will stay in the lobby for very much most of the maps as the core 3. Then you have some switches on the 4th player. As of now, starting off a tiny bit better for New Zealand with Autoline finding the first miss of the lobby. Gooster trades that and it's going up, trades that, which should start shifting the score lead towards Japan's side, but accuracy is actually on New Zealand's side a bit early into the map. Autoline finding another miss. It's 3 FCs against 2, not anymore as Disappear finds the miss as well. And now 2 FCs against 2, but the scores from New Zealand look a tiny bit better than the ones from Japan.
Indeed, yeah. So New Zealand here, actually Mitya does find a break, but it's only the FC right now happening from jetting, and now the lead, it is going to the side of Japan as Rai and Shoponpon are still holding on to those FCs, albeit with very low accuracy. Rai with less than 92% accuracy, but still holding on to the combo. So I guess that's all that really matters, but Shoponpon is actually trying to recover some of that accuracy. So the lead here on Japan is there. It is 80,000 points, but not by, you know, just combo, just pure combo really, because of Rai and Shoponpon. On the side of New Zealand, however, yeah, nothing much is really happening. You have Gooster trying that recovery, and Mitya as well with some sort of combo. But besides that, yeah, I think Japan might have taken this one with only less than a quarter of the map to go. There goes Rai, finally finding a break, but it's still Shoponpon holding on to that FC for Team Japan. But a good backup from Disappear and Autoline. So yeah, Japan looking very dominant here on this DT2, and they're gonna take another point on the board.
Yeah, with that Jedding's miss on the last full combo for New Zealand, the score shifted instantly to the side of Japan. Now leading by 750 points. They take the second point, as you said, Shoponpon, with another really nice score, an FC with 96.2% egg, which the egg is beaten by Jedding, but unfortunate slider break happened there, and that's gonna not cost them the map because, let's be honest, the solo score from Jedding, even if they FC'd, wouldn't be enough to match the team score on Japan. And Japan taking their second point, New Zealand looking to answer with a point of their own yet again, and looking at what they went to, that 3-mod-1 was pretty nice for them. Maybe they could opt for Jashin, even though it's that 240 BPM. It's a bit of a different map compared to the DT2, and they did pretty well in qualifiers. Nomad 2 compared to Japan, and Japan did ban out the Nomad 3, Nomad 1, which are standout scores for New Zealand, so that's not gonna be pickable for them. Maybe opting for the Nomad 4, and yes, there it is, heading to the original map by Kreocam and Sugasugi, mapped by Kieri and Netnesainia. We are heading into what is gonna be our slider tech map with a bit of mech tech in it, but not too much. And it should, on paper, favor New Zealand here.
Yes, we are going into Astral Tether, and yes, it is our custom and original map here at the 4W World Cup. And yeah, on paper, this pick does make sense for New Zealand, as Nomad 4 in qualifiers was one of their better maps. They did get seat 17 on Nomad 4, but yeah, I'm curious to see what these players will do. Looking at some statistics here, none of these players are very much known for their tech ability, at least on paper. But still, New Zealand as a team did really solid on that Nomad 4 in qualifiers. So I am excited to see what they can do with this one. Going to Japan, however, I think they do have some more. They have some players that are more specialized in tech, like Autolean, for example. So it is going to be interesting to see what these players will do. And if we can look at the teams in just a few moments, we're already seeing good luck Afons in chat. We have Rai, Disappear, Shopanpon, and Mitage for the side of Japan. Rumi, Mitya, Gooser, and Jetting on the side of New Zealand. And yeah, we're gonna start off this Nomad for this original song here at the 4-Digit World Cup.
Again, thanks to the artist of this song, thanks to the mappers, as we head into the first original of 4WC. And this map, it's nice to see originals starting in group stage already. It's always nice to see originals in basically any stage of the tournament. We see a very early miss from Disappear, which should not do too much to the team score of Japan, but gives a tiny bit of lead to New Zealand side as they hold the accuracy advantage as well. 5k on their side though is not gonna be enough, especially when they find a miss like Gooster did. That's gonna shift the score back to Japan's side instantaneously, but Shopanpon does trade that miss, so the score will just start to go back and forth. Jetting though, finding a response to Shopanpon's miss, but Mitage joins the miss community, and now it's 2 FCs against 1 FC and one really good recovery. Not anymore, it's only the recovery score living up for Japan's hope. Disappear with 460 combo, trying to fight the two FCs on New Zealand's Rumi and Mitya. But as of now, it is looking just tiny bit better for New Zealand because of those combos.
Yeah, Rumi and Meteor looking very strong here for this Nomad 4. The side of Team Japan, however, we saw Disappear on that bigger combo, but nothing really too much to add. And yeah, New Zealand just looking much stronger here on this Nomad 4. Shopanpon trying to recover some of that combo as well as Rai, but you still have those 2 FCs from Rumi and Mitya, and Jetting and Goofs are trying to recover some of that combo. They do need the Disappear to break if they want to secure this one, and there it is. There's the break from Disappear that New Zealand desperately needed, and now their lead is gonna shoot up, and it is going to increase exponentially. Shopanpon still trying to recover some of the combo as well as Rai, but what can you do against 2 FCs of Rumi and Mitya? Jetting does find a break as well as Disappear to trade right after, but this is it for New Zealand, and they did get a point on that Nomad 4. Like I mentioned, on paper, New Zealand was looking a bit stronger here for this kind of map, and it goes to show that they did indeed were the stronger team here on this Nomad 4.
Really dominant performance coming in from New Zealand on this Nomad 4 with, as you said, 2 full combos with incredibly good accuracy on Rumi and Mitya, both over 98%, 98.7 and 98.52, just around 2 100s apart. Really nice scores coming in from some players of Japan, with Robin and Shopanpon also outscoring the 600k line with 650,000 points average. Disappeared also with not that bad of a score, but unfortunately New Zealand supports were enough to support that, and the FCs did their work. Now we are heading into instant double time 3-pick, so Japan picking out the whole DT pool, and this map is much different compared to what we have seen from DT1 and DT2. It does not have that much tapping involved, even though it has some really uncomfortable, really, I'd call them goofy patterns. You have a lot of zigzags, a lot of wiggles, a lot of uncomfortable aim, and it's snappy, it's funky, it's a banger song as well. It's an interesting map to see and definitely a fun map to watch as well.
Yeah, this is gonna be a DMCA alert. It is gonna be Squabble Up by Kendrick Lamar, and Honestly, yeah, the description you gave of this map is very accurate, Mavos. But on my own notes, the only thing that I wrote for this map is, and I quote, Kendrick Lamar aim control. So yeah, I think it is very accurate for this kind of map, and it is going to be an interesting one to see. Like you mentioned, it does have some very odd patterns and some aim control, so it is going to be a good one to see, and it's also a banger of a song. I'm not too sure what the team compositions will be for this one, but what I will know is that, Mavos, we need to keep talking throughout the map because we don't want to get DMCA'd.
No, absolutely. We need to keep the streamers, the viewers on watch, even if they are watching the VOD. So, yeah, maybe a bit of a challenge for the casters as well here, as we will need to speak a lot to not get muted on the stream. But I believe it's gonna be possible. We are still waiting for the players to get in and ready up. They are taking their time with the readying up. In this matchup, from what I noticed, they are insta-picking though, so that's nice at least. And yeah, as we mentioned already, this DT3 is gonna be one of those, I'd say, pretty much a different map compared to what we have seen so far, and overall pretty pretty outstanding map in this map pool. It is like no other, I'd say. And looking at the chat, we see some good luck. We see the ready up message, the Wawa, Mitage, Autolin, Shoponpon for Japan, Dasher, Mitya, Rumi, and Jedding for New Zealand. As we head into this double time 3, if Bancho decides to wake up, squabble up by Kendrick Lamar. Let's go. And the map starts with those goofy patterns. Basically, right from the beginning, you see those aim patterns, those like 1-2s that are really snappy, and we see Shoponpon finding a miss on those 1-2s early into the map. The map is not too long though. It is the shortest map in this map of 1 minute 40 seconds of drain time, and Dasher Diwawa trading together with Mitya, so the score is still gonna stay in the middle of the board, with Japan taking the slightest lead because of some combo advantage from Shoponpon. Dasher finding a miss, traded with Diwawa again. Mitya down some combo as well. See Jedding and Rumi on the FCs against Mitage and Autolin on their FCs, and Shoponpon with the pretty nice recovery, shifting the score to side of Japan as of now. Dasher finding a miss from New Zealand is definitely not gonna help New Zealand on this pick at all, and Japan is looking into their third point, but it's still pretty close to tell. 100k points can change any second if we see a miss from one of those FCs on Japan, and that's gonna happen. Autolin finding the miss on the full combo, and it's only Mitage, Shoponpon on big combos. Diwawa with pretty nice recovery, but that's matched by Mitya, and Jedding with Rumi are holding pretty nice combo as well. Diwawa goes down, so it's only Mitage and Shoponpon on the combos for Japan against 2 FCs and 400 combo from New Zealand's Mitya. And now the score is gonna shift. Autolin finding a miss, Diwawa finding a miss as well. It's only Mitage, Shoponpon, Mitage finding a miss on the full combo, but down goes Chadling, Mitya, and Dasher and Rumi. 4-way break from New Zealand. It's only Shoponpon on the 8th slider. Can Shoponpon shift it back? It's only 60,000 points in favor of Team New Zealand. It's shifting back pretty fast. Shoponpon with the combo, holding strong throughout this map, and there's not much left than 100k in favor of Japan, even though it looked so even. What a performance from Team Japan, what a performance from Team New Zealand, and this was the first really close map we have in this match.
Yeah. Damn. Okay, Mavos really came up to the spotlight here when it came to continuing talking here throughout this map. So shout out to Mavos for that one. But yeah, Japan here with a very good performance on this DT3. But yeah, it was a very close one here. It's only 120,000 score difference between these two teams. But yeah, it was interesting to see what both of these teams were able to do with this DT3. Interesting stuff. Right now it is going to be New Zealand's pick, and I am trying to look here at what they could do here. I'm trying to look at some of their players and maybe some of their better statistics. I think they could go for maybe some no mod. I guess they do have no mods actually. They can't really go. They do have the no mod too, but I think it doesn't really make sense for New Zealand to go for that no mod too, because you know they just kind of lost DT2 and the BPM is kind of similar. So yeah, they do have the hidden 3 that could be interesting. Also the hidden 1. So yeah, they also still have those free mods. So I think that all of these maps are very much good for New Zealand, but they are going indeed for that hidden 3.
Hidden 3 pick does make sense. It is similar to, let's say, that normal 3, normal 4 combined. It is somewhat of a techie map. You have some flow aim hold patterns as well, and it is pretty fast with a BPM of 165, I believe. Which, let's be honest, for some lower rank players that could be considered streams at this point. So tapping that might be a bit uncomfortable if you are not that hold paced player, but I believe for these it will be pretty comfortable.
Yeah, hidden 3, this is an interesting map. It is pretty much just flow tech, and it has some aim control elements. Mainly what we just saw on this DT3, but as well as that no mod 4 and free mod 1 as well. It did have some aim control elements as well. So it is going to be interesting to see what New Zealand will be able to do here for this hidden 3, and also a banger song, mind you. Trying to see here what players could be good for this one, but I'm not too sure here, so it's going to be a bit of a surprise to me what the players will be for this map. But yeah, I think we're gonna get started in just a few moments. So yeah, let's see what these players will do, and let's see what players will be in for this map.
Yeah, it is gonna be a bit of a surprise, as you said, since both teams are not that proficient on hidden outside of that hidden 2 from Japan we have seen in qualifiers. So yeah, the rosters are a question, and the map, this hidden 3, is different compared to anything we have seen in qualifiers, so that needs to be taken to mind as well. And we see Shopompon disappear, Syuk for the first time, roll ban in for Team Japan, Mitya, Jedin, Gooster and Rumi for New Zealand, so just basic core for New Zealand. We see Syuk in for Japan, roll ban, Shopompon obviously for the hidden disappear, adding to the 4th player. Yeah, interesting choice. New Zealand did do pretty well on those healthy flow aim control maps, so on paper this could favor them, but then you have the question of if they are comfortable on this with hidden on. And so far, starting off the map, we see some pretty nice accuracies, even though you usually see some drops at the beginnings of the map for players to stabilize. So just saying how comfortable this map could be, but Syuk finding the first miss from Japan is definitely gonna help New Zealand with maybe starting to build up some score lead. This map is only 2 minutes long, so every miss will count towards the score lead. And 200 combo down, Syuk is not so happy, especially looking at their accuracy, but Jedin does trade that, which will give the lead right back to Japan. And disappear, finding a miss as well. Now it's looking as yet another back and forth map, which is not the greatest for New Zealand as they are picking this, but there are 3 FCs now. 2 FCs are still standing compared to Japan's 2 FCs, so yeah, it's still a close battle and it's still not decided.
Yes, this map is still very close. We're still a little bit over halfway, but yeah, like you mentioned, Malva, this map is fairly short, and you have combos from Shopompon and Rollpan. No, Rollpan does find a break, and that's not what Japan really wants. And the lead right now for New Zealand is gonna increase due to the combos on Mitya. Never mind, and Rumi still holding on to the FC, so that could be a bit of a disaster for New Zealand. But there goes Shopompon pawn, trading with Mitya just right away. But Mitya does find another break, but Rumi is still holding on to that full combo, and a good recovery from Jetting and Goofster. Mitya keeps finding breaks. That's not really good for New Zealand, but it doesn't really matter because Rumi finds a break. Unfortunate, but it is the final moments of the map. There's no time for Japan to recover this, and Disappear did find a break as well, Siuk, and it is going to be another point for Team New Zealand here on this hidden 3.
Yeah, Rumi with an unfortunate break near the end of the map, but it does not matter at all as they still pick up the point by a pretty comfortable lead of 300,000 points, even though it seemed pretty close at the beginning and at the half point of the map. Yeah, Shoponpon with 720k, also a pretty nice score from Team Japan, but the support for New Zealand were just that tiny bit better to give them the score lead of 300,000 points, and the big combo from New Zealand was also a tiny bit better than the one on Shoponpon. And as of now, we are heading into a stage of the match where both teams have one of their pick left. We don't have any more maps to be picked after this. It's either tiebreaker or someone wins. And with that said, the map pool does get slimmer and slimmer, which might make it more difficult for teams to pick. And Japan, even though being the lower seed in qualifiers, is gonna pick into Jashin. But considering how the DT2 and then the BPM being basically the same for normal 2 and DT2, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah, we're going into Joshin. This song is very familiar, but this map set is interesting. So it is 240 BPM streams still, but it's fairly nerfed compared to, you know, the map sets that we have available in ranked play. This map is mapped by Astronic, a very proficient stream mapper. But this one is going to be more focused on your stamina. It doesn't really have much aim to it. It doesn't really have much flow aim to it. It's going to be more focused on, can you tap 240 BPM for a good period of time? And if you can, you're going to do well on this map. And it does make sense for Japan, like you mentioned, Mavos. It does make sense for Japan to pick this one. They did win that DT2, and the BPM is very similar. So, yeah, it is going to be an interesting one to see for Team Japan.
I mean, adding on what you said, the stream parts are not that aim heavy, and I mean the mid parts, the filler parts of the map are also not that difficult to aim, even though that is the case. We have seen a lot of misses coming in, especially on those jump sections after streams and mid-map. So beware for that, because those misses will hurt quite a bit, especially if one team can hold and can stream this comfortably. But the map is pretty long, 5 minutes of drain time, the longest map in this map pool, so early misses will not matter too much. And overall it's gonna be more of a, if someone can hold combo for a huge amount of time, that will be a standout score. If someone can hold a pretty nice accuracy with some bits of combo here and there, that might end up in a pretty good and deciding score. So it's a question of how comfortably the players can play it. We have seen some FCs on this normal 2 already, so maybe we are looking into another one from one of these 8 players. Devawa, Mitage, Autoline and Shoponpon for Japan. It's going up Mitya, Jedding and Gooster for New Zealand, because I believe that's going to be the final 4 for both teams as we ready up and head into the map. Normal 2 Jashin starts about now.
Yeah, we're gonna start Joshin here right now, and let's see what both of these teams can do. On paper, this map is more in favor for Team Japan, but New Zealand are here to put up a good fight, and here we go. Goofs are finding an early break, but it doesn't really matter that much. It's only the beginning of the map, so misses are bound to happen. And yeah, you can see here that Japan does have does have some advantage here, but it's actually on the side of New Zealand. is holding on to the SS, the only SS in the entire lobby. So that is a good thing for them. But it's only a 4,000 point score lead. Nothing really to be scared of. But everyone's still holding on to their respective combos. New Zealand holding on a very small lead. Nothing really happening, but we are gonna enter the first few bigger streams. Here we go. And Chopin finding a lot of accuracy drops here in this first stream, and that's gonna give a big advantage for New Zealand. But there goes Jetting. Jetting does find a break here, and that is kind of disastrous for Team New Zealand right now, because they still have FCs from Amaze and Mitya and a good recovery from Gooster, but everyone on Team Japan is still holding out to full combos, and there it is, the lead right now. It is going for Team Japan.
Yeah, Jetting finding the first miss of this map on the quarter point of the map is gonna hurt quite a bit. The lead is still not going up too fast, because the map is still not in its later stages where combo starts to matter quite a bit. So we see actually New Zealand taking the lead for a little bit because of accuracy drops coming in from Chopin. But outside of that, no, there's not much New Zealand can do right now, as Team Japan is still holding onto 4-way full combo. And 1/3 into the map, it's still looking pretty good for them. Diwawa with Mitage pretty comfortably on that 98% FC out the lean, and Chopin a bit down on the accuracy, but still holding the full combos. But on the other side, New Zealand is still threatening them with the comeback. If one of those FCs breaks, it's going on Mitya and Gooster with incredible accuracies, especially on it's going up with 99.6 and Gooster with 99.1. Mitya a bit on the lower side with 91%, and Jetting finding it a 99% recovery of 700 combo is also gonna maybe cause some trouble for the nerves of Japan if they see a break and they see the scores. Yes, they are leading, but if one of those FCs breaks, it's gonna go to Team New Zealand side, especially at this halfway point of the map. So do not break, especially not on this more of a row aim, row jump section, because that will hurt quite a bit. 100,000 points in favor of Japan again. One miss and it could go either way. But if we see a miss from New Zealand side, that will hurt them as well, because that will reduce their chances on a comeback on this 5-minute long map quite a bit. And it's going up, is gonna find that miss on that full combo for New Zealand, and that's gonna make things difficult.
Yeah, a very unfortunate miss from Amaze here on the side of New Zealand, and it's gonna make things very hard for them right now. They desperately need a break from Japan, but Japan just does not want to break. They're still holding on. A 4-way FC on our No Mod 2, and we're entering here the final moments of this map. We're entering the last quarter here. Japan is still holding on. 230,000 score lead for them, but New Zealand still has Mitya and Gooster and Jetting on the recovery as well. And here we go. We're going to enter the final moments of Joshin, and Japan is still holding on. Some accuracy drops coming in from them, but Mitya and Gooster are still holding on for Team New Zealand. Jetting as well on that recovery, but Japan are still holding to the 4-way FC. We're going to enter the final streams here. Will Japan be able to close out the 4-way FC? And you see the shake on Mitage looking very, very good here. Team Japan still holding on to the 4-way FC, and there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that New Zealand can do here to recover this. We're entering the final moments, and it's only aim right now, and it's not a lot of aim, but everyone is still holding on. Japan is still holding the 4-way FC on the No Mod 2. Will they be able to do it? Will they be able to close out the 4-way FC? And they do it! And Japan with a 4-way FC on Josh and No Conray are No Mod 2 here at the 4-digit World Cup group stage.
Wow. 7 S ranks. We see unfortunate SB from Jetting, and it's going up. And that's literally the only misses we have seen. Mitya with A rank FC, Gooster with FC of 99%, then the 4-way FC on Japan. What is this performance? Like,
Yeah.
if you look at New Zealand's team score, that beats like almost any other team we have seen play this map. But not Japan, because they just come in with a 4FC like it's nothing. What is this?
Yeah, no misses to be found on any of the players meet you with that A rank FC. But yeah, the rest was just slider breaks. This is a good performance from both of these teams, but Japan just coming in with that 4-way FC. What a good performance from them. And this was their last pick. And what a way to have a last pick. And now it is going to be New Zealand to pick, and I'm not too sure what they can do after this. You have to think, you just got 4-way FC'd by Japan. Their morale must be a little bit down, but you still have some maps here that you could go for. You still have those Fremont 2 and Fremont 3s. You have the Hard Rock pool wide open, and that's pretty much it for the maps that we have available here for this final pick from New Zealand. And yeah, I'm just not really sure what New Zealand can do. And yeah, they're going for that Fremont 3. And yeah, interesting stuff. This Fremont 3 is, you know, big circles. It is CS3, if I'm not mistaken, with no mod. So yeah, but its map is also quite dense. So it is going to be interesting to see what these players will be able to do here on this Fremont 3. And reminder, this is the last pick for New Zealand. So either Japan wins or we go to tiebreaker. And Mavos, I'm gonna be honest, I want to go to tiebreaker, man. Like, this is gonna be an interesting one if this goes to tiebreaker, but Japan looking very strong after this no mod 2. So let's see what will happen with this Fremont 3.
Yeah, as you said, tiebreaker would be interesting, especially with this matchup when it's this close between Japan and New Zealand. Yeah, just going back and forth, no breakpoints dropped, and New Zealand is hoping to keep that stat alive, because if they drop a breakpoint here, it's gonna be over for them in this match. But yeah, that's to be decided by this Fremont 3. As you said, the map is pretty dense. It's a mix of basically everything. You can have the CS3, it might be a bit of a tough one for the no-mod player, maybe the hidden player as well. It might need you to be able to read a little bit. The AR 9.3 might help as well with the reading issue though. OD7, definitely a map that will not be that difficult to hack for these players. The question is, can they hold the combo? It is one of the shorter ones in this map with 1 minute and 55 seconds. So combo will matter quite a bit, but again, whole pressure is on New Zealand's side. If they win this and they can evaluate on the tiebreaker, they might as well get into the bracket stage here. So it's still a big game for them, and it's still not over until the map is over. So interested to see what happens on this Fremont 3, as we are waiting for the players to join into the lobby and slowly ready up. Good luck in the chat, which would mean we should be starting shortly with this Fremont 3 map. And I mean, I said it multiple times, this map is also quite a bit of banger, and overall this whole pool is made of songs that sound pretty nice. No sleepers whatsoever. We see disappear, Shopon, Rolpan, Mitage on Team Japan, Shigonpei, Gooster, Mitya, and Rumi for New Zealand, trying to get this point to their side, trying to enforce that TB. And you know, statistically, by how this match is going, it should happen. New Zealand did not drop a breakpoint, and this is their pick, so on paper they should be able to get the TB, but it matters on whether they can play this map comfortably and can outperform Japan on it or not. We see Rumi on Hidden together with Gooster, HR on Shigonpei. On side of Team Japan, HR on Disappear, Hidden on Rollpan, and HR on Mitage. So instead of the double Hidden for Japan, we see double HR on this Fremont 3, trying to evaluate on that CS3, but so far it's not working that great for them with Disappear, Rollpan finding this is traded by Gooster.
Yeah, so Yeah, New Zealand is actually in the lead right now by 20,000 points. Nothing really too big, but there goes Mitya actually dropping the full combo. But She Gon Pay Me on that Hard Rock is still holding on for Team New Zealand, and Rumi and Gooster on the recovery as well. But you also have to look. Mitagi did find a break as well. Chopin still holding on to the full combo. So She Gon Pay Me and Chopin are pretty much side to side in terms of combo. But you also have Rumi as well. Rumi is actually the one on the FC, not She Gon Pay Me. But there goes Mitya finding a break here, and we're already less than halfway through the map, and New Zealand is actually on a 100,000 score lead, but there goes Goofster. That could be kind of disastrous for Team New Zealand, but She Gon Pay Me and Rumi are still holding on, but She Gon Pay Me actually drops the combo. It's only Rumi holding on for Team New Zealand, and you look at Japan, you have Disappear and Rollpan holding on to big combos here for Japan, and will they be able to actually close out this match? But I don't think they are. I don't think there's enough time. This is gonna be tiebreaker, if I'm not mistaken. And there goes Disappear. It just confirmed this tiebreaker happening between Japan and New Zealand. We are going to tiebreaker, ladies and gentlemen.
Not a single error on either side. We see New Zealand with 4 picks, 4 points. Japan with 4 picks, 4 points. No breakpoints dropped. We see 4WS rank on the board with 3 being from Japan, but New Zealand with the FC from Rumi actually taking the W on this 3-3. And as you said, that will put us into a tiebreaker. I believe this is the second time we see tiebreaker in a match without it being played for fun, and it's gonna be a 6-minute 21-second long 200 BPM map, a combined deck, aim, tapping, everything you need for a proper tiebreaker, and it is gonna be a banger.
Yeah, the only other time there was a tiebreaker so far in the 4G World Cup was last weekend between Finland and Chile, where Chile did close out and won 5-4 against Finland. Chile being, also one of the highest seeded teams in the whole group stage, being the highest seeded team in the whole group stage, being seed 9. So that was interesting to see from them. A very close match that was. But right now we are focused on this one. We are focused right now on Japan versus New Zealand. It is going to tiebreaker, ladies and gentlemen. And this tiebreaker is interesting. It is one of the tiebreakers of all time. 200 BPM, 6 minutes and 21 seconds of length, and it is a map, Mavas. It is a map. It is interesting, and hopefully both of these teams will be able to show their best here on the tiebreaker, and I'm hoping for a close one as well. So I am very, very excited for this one. As I was excited as well for the previous tiebreaker, this one is also going to be a banger.
Yeah, as you said, it will be a close one. We have some bits that should favor Team New Zealand, we have some bits that should favor Team Japan, and it's only a question of whether one or another team can hold some score, hold some combo on the opposing team's parts, because this TB is a combined skill set one. It is it is a TB of all TBs, one hell of a tiebreaker. And we should be starting pretty shortly with Rai, Rollpan, Mitage, Chopin fighting on the side of Samurais, fighting for Team of Japan, and New Zealand with Rumi, She Gon Pay, Mitya, Jedding, fighting for the side of for Oceania's side. And let's be honest, this is gonna be an interesting one. This might be a close one, and we don't know the results until the map ends. At least I hope so. Starting off the TB, we are Rollpan with an early miss. That will not matter whatsoever. This map is 6.5 minutes long, so take your popcorn. If you don't have any, it's too late. You cannot go anywhere anymore. This TB is starting.
Yeah, TB is underway, and yeah, everyone's still looking very strong. We have a lot of map to go, ladies and gentlemen. An early break from Rollpan doesn't really matter. And yeah, we have here the bigger stream. It's accelerated spacing, but everyone seems to be hitting it without an issue. Chopin on the SS as well. But again, it's the early moments of the map, and we have a lot of it to go. We're going to enter the first Ki here in just a few moments. And yeah, here we go. We have Ki underway, and everyone's still holding on to combos. These patterns here just looking very, very normal. This is just a test of if your consistency is on check and if you can be consistent throughout the whole map. And so far, everyone looking fairly consistent. No drops, no significant drops happening except that one from Rollpan at the beginning of the map. But there goes Jetting actually here, breaking as we enter the first quarter, the second quarter, I mean, of the map. And you know, again, not really troublesome, but there goes Rollpan as well to trade a little bit later with Jetting. So New Zealand does have a lead, but it's a 2,000, 3,000, 5,000 score lead, so it doesn't really matter much right now. So let's see what these teams can do throughout the remainder of this map as we are exiting the first quarter. And there goes Chopin as well, and there goes Metia as well.
As you said, New Zealand with the slightest lead on the board. Well, not anymore with the trade from Chopin and Mitia. The accuracies on those FCs are looking really, really clean. 99.6 on Mitage is the standout out of those four. Roy with 99, Rumi with 99, and the one below 99 is 98.95 on Chigon. Paper Roy finds the miss for Team Japan. It's only Mitage with the FC with Ropan 500 combo support, but that gets matched by Jetting. And as of now, New Zealand with a full combo lead over Japan is taking the lead to their side slowly but surely. 33,000 points. It is the biggest lead we have seen so far on this map as we head into this break, but it's still not decided at all, as it is gonna be close. They see the scores, the nerves might start hitting, which is always a bad sign for both teams, and the map is still nowhere near over. We still have around 3.5 minutes of the map left with 1/3 done, and we still see now only 3 FCs on the board. With that earlier I dropped Rollpan, Chopin, Poland. Some nice recoveries though, which if Jetting and Mitia drop, they might do something. But we see the last drop from Japan. Mitage is down and no more FCs for Team Japan. That is a disastrous break from Mitage, with New Zealand still onto their 2 full combos, and Jetting with 1.1k support also matching by Rollpan, but Mitia also matching Rollpan with the combo. Chopin finds the miss, and it is looking more and more like a New Zealand W. Mitia finds the miss on the support, but that does not matter as long as we see those FCs on Rumi and Shigon. Pego Rumi finds the miss though. That might make things interesting. There are some combos on Team Japan, not much, but if Shigon Pei finds a miss, even though they are looking incredibly comfortable with the 99.26%, Haggett still might make things very, very interesting.
Yeah, Shigon Pei still holding on to the only full combo in the entire lobby, but you have to look out for Japan. They're also on the recovery, especially Rollpan, and also looking here on these breaks, they can see their score difference, and they can see that they are in the lead. New Zealand are in the lead, and you have a very good backup combo as well from Jetting. Nothing really from Rumi or Mitia, but still Japan is building up combo. Shigon Pei needs to hold on for dear life here in this tiebreaker, because if they can hold on, this is going to be another win for New Zealand, the second one here in this group stage for them, and they are still going. We are entering the final moments of this tiebreaker, ladies and gentlemen. Shigon Pei, all eyes are on them right now as they're holding on to the full combo, and a big break from Jetting, Rumi, Rai, and Mitage. But it doesn't really matter because Rollpan also found a break earlier on. I just missed it, but there goes Shigon Pei. But I think that Shigon Pemi did just enough for Team New Zealand to get this tiebreaker on their side. And there goes Ryan, Rolpan, finding breaks, Shopanpon on the recovery, but there goes a break from Shopanpon, and we're entering the final moments here of the tiebreaker, and that big combo from Shigon Pemi, I think, was just enough for New Zealand to get a point on the board and get this match to their side. We are entering here the final moments of this tiebreaker, and New Zealand, against all odds, have picked up another point and picked up another match, and they won 5-0 last week against India, and now winning 5-4 against Japan. And this match, ladies and gentlemen, was a good one. No break points to either side. Everyone won their picks, and tiebreaker is underway, and it is going to end in a few moments, and it is going to be New Zealand breaking in and having another point on the board and winning this match against Japan 5-4.
New Zealand with the seed upset against Team Japan. As you said, against all odds. This map, incredible performance from Shigon Pei, 99.06%, 2.5k max combo A rank, jetting with the 1.7k as well for Team New Zealand side. Mitake, Rolpan definitely fighting hard on this TB, and overall the scores throughout this board are incredibly good for a tiebreaker of this caliber, but New Zealand comes out as the winner of this match. Japan, their first match unfortunately not working out for them, but 4 pretty important points on their side, as those matter as well. Every single map you win will matter in this group stage, but New Zealand with the second victory, they are almost certain to be featured in the bracket stage by the second win, unless something really bad happens in the group stage now. And I believe with that said, GG's to New Zealand, really well played to Japan. Incredible match we had in our hands today. And I believe that's gonna be it for today, as well as the next matches start on Saturday, which is tomorrow, and I believe the first one is around 11 UTC as well, so around the same time as this one. But for now, my name was Mavosik, I was joined by Bernie. Thank you for casting with me. Good game, well played to both teams, and it was a ride.
Yeah, we'll see you next time.